again. How are you? This is my video 111. My video 111 deals with DACUM versus competency standards. Remember that in video 109, I presented for you about DACUM and the DACUM process, and also in the video, the immediate video before this, that is 110 about competency standards. And now we're going to compare both of them together. So stay with me. All right, this is my contact information. If anyone wants to communicate with me, I'm a consultant, trainer, activate and community development specialist, vocational and career counselor, researcher, writer, translator, YouTuber, DACUM, and competence-based training facilitator for that matter. So anyone wants to know more about me and want my consultation and or want my help can communicate via either of these platforms. Thank you for doing so. I'm also a DACUM facilitator. Of course, I'm from diversified experience, I can say, educationally, as well as regarding my experience. Here, one of my experience that I have is DACUM facilitation, or that means I'm a DACUM facilitator for that matter. So in my video 101, I explained much more about the importance of DACUM, mind you. So anybody who wants their training to be facilitated using DACUM approach can communicate with me. That's why I want to show my certificate here. The next one is now in this video we are going to see about the contents, definitions, principles, and philosophical foundations, major characteristics of the DACUM and competency standard approaches, and also we will see about the DACUM and the competency standards developing OS and the curriculum, the merits and demerits of DACUM. Okay, now purpose of this lesson. What is the purpose of this lesson? The purpose of this lesson is first, it presents the major characteristics of the DACUM and the competency standard approach. Of course, in my previous video 109 and 1110, I've explained it more, but now I present here also for comparison. The second is it presents the strengths and limitations of the DACUM and the competency standard approach as inputs for occupational standard and TV curriculum development, so that you will choose either that you understand its limitations and also strengths, so that it will help you to identify and select what to select and how to select of different approaches. Introduction. Now let me come to introducing it. DACUM and the competency standards are two common used approaches for occupational standard, OS and curriculum development in technical and vocational education training TV program particularly. DACUM definitions. Yeah, DACUM is an acronym for developing a curriculum. It says developing a curriculum. The DACUM development is an approach to job analysis that involves a committee of 5 to 10 or 5 to 12 experience work. Actually, I've mentioned this in 109. So the one, by the way, who coined this for the pioneer or the guru for DACUM approach is Norton. Norton is very known by this thing, and it is commonly known in Ohio University. It is the place where he managed. So many countries use this approach actually. For more understanding, if you want to understand more about DACUM, please refer to my 109 video number 109. There are three principles of the DACUM, which are very important, which I like most. I love these three philosophies really. So you have to abide to these three philosophies in order to use DACUM. The first philosophy is expert worker can describe and define their job more accurately than anyone else. This is very important because in many training programs, from my experience, those people who are not experienced, I see them participating in developing curriculum, especially in developing countries. That's what's happening. So, but the DACUM refuses this, prohibits this. It says expert workers can describe and define their job more accurately than anyone else. One who is not a dentist should not tell about how to take out bad tooth. No, it is a dentist who should tell you. So we have to leave the work for the workers, for the professionals. This is very important. I strictly state this because in developing countries, I see one of the main reason for the failure of education is because of involvement of paraprofessionals, or those people who are nothing, who are not related with education and training from time to time. So countries should work towards mitigating this problem. We have to live about education for educational studies. Somebody else should not come and tell you about curriculum or education system. It is the professional who should do this, who should be involved, who should participate. So the DACUM, I love this principle because of that. Because it says expert workers can describe and define the job more accurately than anyone else. The second philosophy of DACUM is an effective way to define a job is precisely describe the tasks that expert worker perform. Yeah. What does an expert worker do or expert worker gather in DACUM process? They effectively describe it. Way of effectively describing is to describe the tasks that expert workers perform. No. Expert workers, okay? It's not the tasks that ordinary workers perform. It is the tasks that extraordinary workers perform that should be explained. So, who should participate in DACUM philosophy? Experienced professionals, really experienced professionals from the world of work. I love this, the second philosophy as well. The third one is all tasks, in order to be performed correctly, demand certain knowledge, skills, tools, and working behaviors. Yeah, this is very important. Unless otherwise having knowledge, unless otherwise having skills, acquiring skills, or acquiring work ethics, you can't work perfectly or efficiently. In order for work to be undertaken efficiently and effectively, there should be knowledge. This is also very good, or the principle or the philosophy I like most, because you, in order to install electric, for example, if you work on installation, residential electrical installation, I can show you here, you should be the one who knows the knowledge of electricity. You should have the knowledge of, for example, drawing, technical drawing. You should have the skills how to use different tools. You have to identify the tools. What type of tools you should use? You should mention them, you should name them, and also know how to use them. That is skill. And also you have to have work behavior. For example, as electrical installer, I mean a residential wiring worker, in order to do this, in order to perform this one, you should acquire work ethics, safety, for example, health and safety precautions. You have to know about that. You have to implement it also as well. All these are very important. But if you are somebody who know nothing, or paraprofessional, partial professional, what do? You can't do all these things. That's why in DACUM philosophy, it is the professionals who should gather together and say. Their saying must be heard. So I love DACUM. I'm one of the promoters of DACUM philosophy, specifically in job specification and training development perspectives, or endeavors for that matter. Okay, benefits of DACUM. I've already mentioned it. So there are different types of benefits. To mention some of them: job and skill classification, develop competence-based curriculum, to illustrate the breakdown. DACUM is well known to be used for development. Of course, that should be a DACUM facilitator, by the way. In order to do this one, you should be a DACUM facilitator. Facilitation DACUM is not simple unless otherwise you are trained, unless otherwise you are experienced. Mind you, unlike some workers in curriculum workers in which people simply get into it and work, in DACUM process, there is no room to do that. It should be professional. That's why I love also DACUM philosophy, why I promote DACUM philosophy for that matter. Another is competency standard definitions. Yeah, when you talk about competency standards, I've already mentioned it in detail in my videos, by the way, refer. In order to understand about competency standards, about occupational standards, I want you to refer other my videos. But simply just to get into, to introduce you, competency standards is commonly used approach for occupational standards. Competency standard is part of occupational standard. Many competency standards together form occupational standards. So you, in order to develop competency standard, first of all, you have to understand how competency standards be developed, by the way. Anyways, competency standard definitions. There are many definitions. Different scholars and organizations give definitions. ILO, UNESCO, Univoc, among many others that provide definitions for that matter. Even scholars such as Norton, Crunkleton, there are many people who are working or professional worldwide who gave Rupert MacLean from Univoc, I remember, gave different definitions. Because I've worked in there for about more than 30 years in TVT, I know many of them, and also undertaken different research, and also work on consultation nationwide and international levels, so I know. So anyways, different people give different definitions. Still there are definitions for given to DACUM by ILO, for instance. DACUM is quick and cost-effective. Yeah, it is a quick and cost-effective method of occupational analysis that use a focus group to facilitate a storyboarding process. Yeah, it is a kind of brainstorming process in group to conduct a thorough analysis of given occupation. Definition given by to competency standard by law. Competency standard benchmarks to assess. Yeah, it is benchmarks most of the time. The reason why you say benchmarks is, of course, especially in developing countries, competency standards are not developed from the scratch. They simply adopt taken from other countries such as Australia. Australia is very known, by the way, in competency standard development, training packages. Development, training standard development. So most countries, specifically, I remember that in my country, Ethiopia, take from Australia and also the Philippines, the competency standards of occupations, so that we used to adopt it and adapt it and benchmark it actually. That is what we call it, benchmark for that matter. So we used to do that. So it is assessment tools is also there. By the way, we talk about competency standard. We talk about two things: competency standard. Standard should be there. Assessment tool should be developed and implemented. Implication for definition given by law. The definitions that were given for DACUM implicate that the DACUM is used to illustrate the breaking down of occupation into small tasks. Yeah, into small chunks for that matter. Yeah, from general to specific. General, we call it occupation. Then occupation will be divided into jobs. Jobs will be divided into duties. Duties should be divided into tasks. Tasks to steps, or maybe knowledge, skills, and attitudes. So there are way of doing. When we talk about definition of competence standard, it implicates that there are reference points against which assessment tools are developed. When we talk about competence standards, what we take into our mind is assessment development, by the way, because it is a reference material to develop assessment tools from. We derive or we use it. By the way, I've presented, there is one of my videos that talks about, or not one, about certain videos I have about occupational assessment tool development and implementation methods, by the way. So you can read more about competence-based assessment approaches. Another issue is common features of DACUM and CSS. Of course, they have their own features. For instance, both of them are occupational analysis processes that are used to link industry with academia. Yeah, both of them do so. Both means DACUM and competence standards are industry-directed curriculum design approach. Yeah, there are participants. Common features continue. Both of them are occupational analysis processes that are used to link industry with academia Furthermore, both DACUM and CSS present a means of developing curriculums that takes into account industry needs and expectation. Differences. Let's come to the differences. There are a bit differences actually in its philosophy and also the way it is implemented. In the DACUM, the duties tasks represent work activities. Task activities. What to do from general to specific. From general to specific. It deduces. It uses deductive approach. In this competency standards, unit of competence and elements of competence represent the required competence of the job. Yeah, you can see by different charts, DACUM chart and also competence standard chart, so that you can understand more. Or you can refer to my some of my videos that I've presented and uploaded on my YouTube channel for reference. Another issue is the DACUM uses guided group discussion of expert workers. Yeah. In DACUM, it is experts, professionals, experts that should gather together and give their say or tell us a story about the work. The only thing the facilitator do is to ask, not to tell. The competency standard is a discussion of diversified experts and stakeholders such as professional and trainers. Yeah, professionals should be there, trainers should be there, stakeholders should be there. Professional associations should be there also. When we talk about competency standards, of course, it needs also adept or professional facilitator as well. Competence standard is used to assess the level of persons' existing skills and competencies. Yeah, competence standard is used to classify labor market and develop national standard of large occupational areas. DACUM is developed with the involvement of workers, in other words, committees of competent workers who can perform tasks, gather together, and describe the job and tasks. Competence standards are developed in consultation with industry and stakeholders. This is all what I've mentioned so far. Okay, thank you very much for staying with me. By the way, there is one video left or remain that you should see, or that you should pursue, or that you should watch in order to get full-fledged about DACUM analysis and competency standard approach. So in the next video, that video 112, we will see DACUM and competency standards, how to use them, their features in developing occupational standard and curriculum, specifically how it is converted to curriculum. So hopefully I will see you in my video 112. Till then, I would like to say bye-bye.